So guys, this American is calling on the United States government to intervene in Nigeria election. He said Nigeria election has been rigged always, that this time America should intervene to prevent rigging. See how this headline captured it. Nigeria's election have been rigged for decades. Unless America intervenes, it will be rigged again in 2027. Mike Almond is speaking. This is also coming at a time when Arewa Group has issued a threat to the south. They said they want to start retaliating because some northerners were killed in the south. See how this headline captured the self-acclaimed Arewa leader issues threat: we will avenge killing of northerners in Rivers State. So guys, this is what is currently happening in Nigeria. This is coming at a time when Tinubu recently released 117 terrorists, Boko Haram terror members back into the society in the name of they've been rehabilitated. Guys, this is what is happening. Like you can see, this headline says 117 repentant terrorists, complete rehabilitation program. And Nigerians have been reacting. Now, guess what? A governor has come out to declare that they need help, that insecurity has worsened. So you can imagine, in the midst of worsened insecurity, Tinubu is releasing more Boko Haram members. This is not the first time, it's not the second time, it's not the third time. I mean, they've been releasing hundreds and thousands of Boko Haram members back into the society. And now governors are now shouting that they need help, that the insecurity is worsening, guys. I'm going to come back to this article to show you some of the contents of this headline. Now, take a look at this. This headline here says, Plateau community conducts mass burial for 30 indigenes killed in Kwara. So, guys, everywhere is boiling in Nigeria. Everywhere. And the Tinubu's government does not care. Now, in case you don't know, terrorists invaded Zamfara State communities. And, you know, they killed 37 of them. And they kidnapped 150 residents in Zamfara State. This headline here captured it saying, Tinubu's incompetence is killing Nigerians. Netizens react as terrorists murder 37, kidnap 150 residents in Zamfara State. Guys, everywhere is boiling. Everywhere is boiling. You know, this is Ramadan, so it's a month of killing, so that you'll be rewarded by Allah. That is to the belief of the Muslims. That is what is driving them. They've been promised 70 virgins and, you know, alcohol and all kinds of things if they buy people who refuse to believe in Allah, because most of these things are happening in Christian dominated areas, and areas they feel, oh, these are moderate Christians, they are moderate Muslims, they want them to become more radical. So guys, this is what is happening in Nigeria. Tinubu is busy releasing back terrorists into the society. Guys, I'm going to read a section of this article that says insecurity worsens, we need help, governor declares. Now, this headline here say it reads further. Some politicians can't go home, remain in Abuja, Lagos. Army intensifies operation, arrest 131, kill 57 terrorists in 1 month. Expert warns of infiltration risk in fresh recruitment drive. So guys, infiltration risks in fresh recruitment. And it reads further. On a humid Wednesday night, February 18, 2026, silent hung over Ahumwa village in Akure North in Ondo State until it was shattered by gunfire. So guys, these guys went to Ondo State and they bite people there. This is what is happening in Nigeria, and the Tinubu's government is just silent about it. So guys, let me quickly show you how some Nigerians have reacted to this news of terrorists killing 150, kidnapping 150, while they killed almost 40 persons in Zamfara State. So guys, in case you don't know, Fulanis want to take over the land belonging to the Hausa people, and that is what you see happening in places like Zamfara, Sokoto, Katsina. These are Fulanis invaders. They invade, they want to kill the original owners of the land, they want to take over, and that is why you see them killing them, collecting taxes from them. Now let me show you what Tinubu said before now during the time of Jonathan. Tinubu here said the first string Boko Haram attacks on the northeast and massacre of innocent citizens is concrete proof that Nigeria has no government. That was during the time of Jonathan. Tinubu condemned Jonathan for the killing. And this one here says Zamfara State, Zamfara allocates 1 billion to build cemeteries across 14 local government amid ongoing bandit killing. So the governor has already sacrificed the people on the altar of the Fulanis. And this headline here says how we brought in Fulani militias from Mali, Sierra Leone, Senegal, others to win 2015 election. And we know that this was a time Buhari actually opened the door for Fulanis to come into Nigeria. Many of them refused to go back, and some of them are now the ones terrorizing the country. And this person here say, on a serious note, there's something I've observed for so long now. On the northern states, this killing has been happening so long, and the funny part is that they don't act, protest, or fight back the bandits just the way they can attack a Christian person when it has to do with religion. Is it that they are weak when it comes to bandits and terrorists killing their families and destroying your land? Because if they don't put force, if they put force on these bandits just the way they usually do when it comes to people, their people being killed in another state, by now their state could have been peaceful without terrorists, bandit attacks. So this person is saying that northerners like to retaliate when a northerner is killed in another state, but when terrorists kill them, they are all silent. This person here said the Nigerian security forces and country leaders should come out and tell us if we have done something wrong to deserve this. Why are innocent and poor Nigerians being killed? Are they trying to reduce the population, or do they need to see the lives of, or do they not see the lives of the poor people as vulnerable human lives? This is too much. They need to speak up and clarify what is going on. And this other person here said, oh boy, even US military don't face confused for this kind of country. This country is too big to be managed as a poor, very corrupt 20th world country. The best thing is to divide the country into 9 places so people can micromanage themselves and survive. So guys, and this other person here said, what's all this? One APC merchant will come out and tell us everything is good and well and is well going. People are dying, for crying out loud, and nothing is being done. Tomorrow they will tell us that the people doing all these killings have repented and are all ready to be infused into the Nigerian army. This has to stop. And this person is, I guess the governor has planned ahead for more death since he's budgeted for cemetery. What a country. And this person has said this will not even make it to the government or news outlet. Talk less of the president addressing the nation about it. The only thing they think seriously right now is election and anything that concerns it. And this other person has said, what kind of religion takes pleasure in killing people? Aren't these guys tired of killing humans? No wonder your religion is being banned all over the world. Shame in these animals in human form. And this other person here said, I pity the Hausas. When the Fulani militias are done with them, their eyes will open. Instead of uniting to fight these terrorists, they have been brainwashed to think they are brothers. This is why they happily call themselves Hausa Fulanis. The advice to Hausas, go back to history, guys. And this other person here say another set of Hausa gruesomely murdered in the north and no outreach from the northerners. It's only when the northerners are attacked in the south that trigger them. Why the hypocrisy? May their souls rest in peace. And this other person here say these terrorists have finished off Hausa people completely. Wasp Papin is busy with 3K gig from Obasani and NSA. He might end up as the only surviving Hausa man in Nigeria as a reward for leaking Hausa leaders' boss. So guys, this is what is happening. You can see the majority of the people being killed are the Hausas, the owners of the land, be it in Zamfara, Sokoto, be it in Katsina. These are just Hausas, you know. The Fulanis are coming in, they want to gain more grounds. If you check in Nigeria, the governors are all Fulanis, the Emirates are Fulanis, the leaders in the north are all Fulanis. The Hausas have been shortchanged, they've been removed, they've been sacked, they've been pushed backward, and still they cannot leave. They are still being killed. So guys, these are the people that we are having one country with. It's really, really so sad. Let me know what you think about this in the comment section. Please don't forget to subscribe and turn on the bell notification for more. Thank you.
Nigerians have complained largely about repentance, and I use that very loosely and putting it in quote now. Repentant terrorists who have been de-radicalized and reintegrated into the system, and having them, into the society and the army. Now, remember one time the NSA, Nuhu Ribadu, complained about sabotage within the ranks of the military, how some military officials steal weapons and supply terrorists. But now, government seems to be going deeper into that ideology that we could beef up the ranks of the military by bringing in these repentant terrorists. Help us with a possible ideology of how this can work. What is the mind behind the possibility or the workability of this action? Is this going to be, or wouldn't this be detrimental to the fight against terrorism in Nigeria? What are your thoughts, really?
Personally, I think this is uncalled for. It is the wrong approach in terms of how intense Nigerian security architecture is at the moment. A leopard, they say, never changes the spot. A baby leopard is still a leopard, and it carries the spot that the adult leopard carries on their body. Having said that, it is disheartening and worrisome to see that our government have started to incorporate this repentant so-called bandit into our security architecture. The best thing you could do is to have them give you a template of their operational activities, who are their leaders, who are their suppliers of funds and ammunitions, how do they travel weaponry from one section or one region to another region, and act upon this. But putting them into the military to work side by side is dangerous and disastrous. And I support also the son of the army officers that they feel unsafe working with these men in the battlefield.
Does it seem like
because at any point in time they can be ambushed,
okay,
and all battalions taken off? And what happens? Their families, their wives become widows. We also begin to lament that troops have been ambushed and been killed by terrorists, and nothing happens. We must change our formation. When a coach uses the same players to go for competitions and it's not winning a trophy, it's not winning any the matches, it changes the tactics, also changes the players. You can't bring this person because you say that, okay, how do they justify the word repentant? The Nigerian government must define for Nigerians what they mean by it's one who has carried ammunitions, who has fought our sovereignty, who has put people in pain and agony, just coming back after about 6 months or 3 months probation course they put them. I don't know how they were able to stereotype them and say they have repented.
Now, Mr. Kelvin, let me ask you this question. You know, how do you feel? Because before this particular time, the military have been denying reintegrating or using these persons, to work with the military. We can recall when there was an issue somewhere in Enugu State. We're told that no, the man wasn't a former Boko Haram terrorist member. He was just someone, The whole lot of things that actually been happening around that. And up until this particular time, apart from the soldiers now coming up to tell Nigerians boldly that this actually have been happening, the military have been denying this to this particular time. Now, how do you actually feel about this, about the fact that people who have actually played within the Nigerian military are also soliciting or calling that we should give terrorists amnesty?
I think we cannot give them amnesty. If the terrorists are saying, okay, they want to lay down their arms and become worthy ambassadors and good Nigerians, we can say, okay, that is fine. Now we take them out and let our intelligence work on their psychic. They should tell the military their formations, how they move their ammunitions, how they recruit persons into their fold, and we dislodge them. In a secular, that's how you work. You gather intelligence, act upon them, and you do your job, and we get results. We are tired of blame games. Today, we blame the past administration for our woes and our failures. Tomorrow, the next one come and blame the past administration for the woes and failures. But you told us you are equal to the task. Nigerians are tired. We want results. Our mothers cannot go to their farms anymore. Our fathers cannot access their farms anymore. And you are bringing the same people that considered woes to them to say they should go to the battlefield together. I, for one, I rather resign from the military than go to battlefield with a repentant terrorist by my side.
All right then. More resignation.
Keep the watch for me. Tell me, okay, advance. Then I advance at my own peril.
All right then.
Why do you tell me that? Okay, let's go left, and I go left, and we're ambushed. And what happens to me?
All right. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Kelvin. Now let's bring it to the studio, Barrister.
Yes.
Help us make sense of this.
There is no sense in it.
Is it because we are short of personnel?
No.
Would this be the only way to get those willing to go to the war front, those willing to fight? Is this the only way to get to increase the number of personnel that we have?
When things like this happen, you begin to ask yourself, what is the end game here? Is it actually fighting terrorists or human sacrifice? Because it doesn't add up, seriously. Look, if the military does not resist this and confront the government, it will not end though. Except they want to be used as a cannon fodder in the battlefield.
When you say human sacrifice,
yes, because that's what they're looking for. How do you bring a terrorist to go and work with your military? And every day we are hearing of ambush. We are hearing even in the barracks. So who is giving the intel? Who is providing the logistics? If not these terrorists you brought into the military.
Barrister, does it seem like we are willing to combat terrorism? Because just the other day, Interpol was in Nigeria and they arrested 11 individuals. I mean, they've been doing that raid across Africa, from Angola to South Sudan and the rest. Yes, sponsors of terrorism.
Yeah.
And from Nigeria, they picked 11. 11 individuals. Yeah. Now, these individuals, what is it that our government don't know these people? Couldn't we have arrested these people if there was a will to do so?
You know, when this thing happened, I was laughing. I said, look at it. How do you embarrass yourself as a government? That people that are working under your nose, a foreigner had to come and they tell you, this is the sponsor, this is the terrorist. And they pick them. In your presence, they pick them. Look, but let us not deceive ourselves. There is something wrong with governance in Nigeria. Seriously, this thing we are doing here is
wrong
a joke.
With governance in Nigeria.
I'm telling you, we don't have leadership. Seriously, if we have, this thing cannot happen. Imagine a foreigner going to the US to go and pick a terrorist operating in their soil. Can you ever think of such a thing happening? But it's happening here. Yet somebody is telling us that they want to provide a paradise for me. You can imagine. This thing has become a very big joke. Okay. Our soldiers must wake up, seriously, or else they will be decimated, because that's what we're looking at.
Okay, now Barrister, talking about decimating our soldiers, I would like to tie my question with what Moses said. Moses asked, are we in short of troops?
We are not.
You know, I asked that question in the light of the fact that between 2015 and 2025, this year, last week as a matter of fact, Nigeria has Nigeria retired over 500 army generals.
Yes,
from brigadier general to major general to higher ranks. Exactly. Why? Because any time you do reshuffle of service chiefs and you bring up somebody. Because of the command structure hierarchy, that is required in the military, a lot of people have to go. In 2015, when Buratai and Co were removed, about 100 generals had to go with them. Now, in the light of all of this, I still want us to interrogate, our sincerity, intentionality of our government, the security architecture in trying to fight insurgency. We are very deep in insurgency, and we are doing all this jigging. Like I said, in the past 10 years, about 500 generals trained with taxpayer money, have been moved out of service. And now we are looking for ragtag repentant terrorists to go help us fight insurgents. Barrister, are we very intentional? Now, what do you think? Because a lot of people have also said, look, the government has a hand in the terrorism, in the insurgency that we are facing. Can you help us make sense of all of this? Is it that the government doesn't know what they are doing, or that they are overwhelmed?
In fact, it is almost both of them, because a government that wants to win this war, they will not be doing what they are doing. Because these generals, with their knowledge, with their training, they are supposed to help in fighting these people. How do you now, shove them out of the military prematurely? And then Boko Haram will now recruit them and they are helping them. Of course, they are still active. So if those people you rejected, some people are using them.
No, Barrister, when you say Boko Haram will not recruit them, I don't get it.
Oh, you think they're idle? Why do you think that these guys are doing what they are doing with so much brazenness? It's because somebody is training them too. Yes, somebody is training them. Those people that you shove out of the military prematurely, do you think they are happy? They are being used somewhere. That's the truth. If not, how come these people will have the temerity to face our military? It's because they have gotten a lot of training and intel.
Why will Boko Haram be able to give them $20,000 a piece? And armored SUVs, like the federal government just gave them the other
They take care of them than the Nigerian government. Are you not aware?
I'm not.
They are really taken care of. The sponsors are not joking. They are fully armed with finance. So if not, these people will not continue to be doing what they are doing. They are well provided for.
Okay.
It's on record. They are provided for.
All right.
So don't deceive yourself.
Let me go back to Kelvin now. Kelvin, Now, we know that there's been some reports of insecurity, people being killed around the nation, everywhere. In fact, it's basically every part of the nation. But if government isn't doing what it should do, what then should the people do to ensure that their lives are secure? What advice would you give to the people?
Go at the Great Chamber that Nigerians should be allowed to carry arms to protect themselves. Because I feel the most painful thing that will happen to any family man is somebody coming to ravage your home and take the life of a family.
Do you think that in itself will not be abused? If individuals are allowed to carry arms, do you think that will not be abused and people will take laws into their hands? Are we in a bind here? Are we stuck?
It will be abused, but I think there must be some processes before such firearms will be released to persons. They must go through maybe a mental test. Some will go through under management test or training, and those will help. Because at the point we are in now, we do not even trust our security anymore. We do not trust our security anymore because even when you share intelligence, sometimes they are slow to act on intelligence, and before you know it, the deed is done already. We do not prevent issues. We are not proactive. We always, when deed has been done, you see all of them moving the barracks to that place, and you see soldiers everywhere, military, civil defense. They're everywhere. We have a national security advisor in this country. He's a police officer of repute. He must put the stinking faculty to work. We are tired of giving us excuses.
So you don't think that this counter-insurgency strategy, being introduced by the security apparatus in Nigeria is going to work in anywhere? Recall they said that they are using these men now as a bait to tell the military where the people who are still in the bushes are, because that was what we're told. That the reason they do this is actually
that's a lie. That's a lie for the pit of hell, and it's a fallacy.
Oh, God.
You can put these men in a room filled with experts, have a discreet conversation with them, and they will explain to you. They can videotape it, they can video televise it, they can explain it in their local dialect how the operational modus of operandi is. You don't need to take them to the battlefield to work with our military because it's a jeopardy. Now you're expecting them to even know more strategy about how the military operates. We have different squadrons, we have different operations and different battalions and how they operate. Now, when you put these men to work with our military together in the battlefield, you make them to know more how our military operates. And when they escape tomorrow, they go and tell their colleagues that, okay, this is the information the military have adopted now. What is wrong if we use drones? Rather than using this men tell us the bush they have, we employ drones to load them into the forest. And your ground intelligence will tell you, okay, when your intelligence gives you a location that this is where they are, your ground intelligence will not move further. Every day I keep wondering, is this Nigerian military that went to Sierra Leone and brought normalcy? Don't the Samodo and Sastelo went to Liberia?
But we're told that they are using some of the people as shield
at that time. And just how many years ago now down the line we are being faced with our internal insecurity, and a sovereign nation cannot fight its sovereignty. The other day, a man was kidnapped in Niger State. The U.S. military flew into Nigeria, rescued the man back to the U.S. Nigeria's intelligence were not aware about it.
Mr. Kisele, up until today, we are yet to declare, sort of emergency on insecurity in Nigeria. The president went for that to give vote of confidence on the people he appointed, the cabinet members, saying that they are doing what they should do. And, nobody should talk about it. What does this really portend, given the fact that tomorrow Nigerians are still dying? And then some people are talking about this becoming more like genocide. Some are saying it's not genocide, more like some people are saying it's a religious war back and forth, even to the point that a congressman in U.S. is beginning to bring out the notion that Nigeria should be made or re-designate a country of particular concern.
It's worrisome that they even prescribe Nigeria as they blacklisted Nigeria for travel advisory for U.S. citizens and UK citizens, and that doesn't tell well for us at all. Every day we keep going to seek for foreign investors come to your country to invest. How can they invest when you have insecurity? These men just come to TV to tell us what we want to hear. But on the field, nothing is being done. I say this with all full confidence that the bandit authorities in Nigeria are more equipped, more funded than the Nigerian military.
Okay. All right.
You see what they carry in Katsina State going for peace talk. They were carrying launchers, heavily armed, than even what Nigerian military are carrying.
All right, Mr.
Jumodo, for peace talk have not been apprehended by security operatives. Okay. And we have intelligence, and we have DSS.
Mr. Jumodo, if you say that we have these insurgents, the terrorists and bandits, that they are more equipped, than the Nigerian military, and we have some of them that are repentant, some of them that have repented, and now are on the other side. If we don't want to embed them, with our own soldiers to help us, because we are afraid they might turn saboteurs and kill our soldiers, how best can we utilize the knowledge that they acquired as bandits in the fight against terrorism?
Good. The first thing first is, first of all, change their mindset. Because the first call of service, when they are inducted into a terrorist camp, they tell them that Aram means, what's forbidden. They tell them that the Western knowledge and culture is forbidden. They tell them Christianity is forbidden. They tell them anything Western is forbidden. Hence the word comes Boko Haram. Haram means something that's forbidden. Now, in all of this, how do you change a man's orientation? It's work on his cognitive. Put them through series of, let's say, weekly training, monthly training, yearly training, and retraining. And when they are done with this training, the next thing, you put these men in an office and let them just be doing a reportage for you. I'm telling you, at this point, every September, they gather in Borno, for example, to attack. You say, okay, the intelligence will take a record of that. They say, okay, at every Friday, this is where they gather. The man that brings arms from Jigawa or Nasarawa, it comes in through Duse. The man that brings also food for them comes in through Mubi. And when you get all of this, you act on it. You don't need to take this man to the battlefield without security. It's disastrous, it's dangerous, it's a national threat.
If you trust the, okay, how do we trust the information they give as being enough, and providing security for our people? If we can't use them in the battlefield, I will keep them in offices and provide this information. How trustworthy are those information?
Intelligence is a two-way traffic.
Okay.
I'm a security expert. When you get intelligence, you run through it. While you run through it, you checkmate the intelligence they're giving to you. You're not going to just go there on Sunday and just attack. No. That's why we have air intelligence, we have ground intelligence. If they tell you, okay, this is intelligence they've gathered, you will now work on your air intelligence and take inventory of that, start to school that every Friday this person brings this thing here. When you carry out intelligence that cooperative for 3 times they have come through that route, then you know that, okay, this intelligence they're giving to you is true. Then you act on it. Then the 4th one you strike.
But at this point in time,
I want to tell you that, okay, the arms are kept. The arms are kept, for example, in those states that they slots for them to act with. They just go there immediately and start attacking. No, you are the ambush. You do your air intelligence and your ground intelligence, and also work with locals.
Mr. Calvin, at this point, we don't really have one single, terrorist group to start with, because you just talked about Boko Haram. But what about the Lakurawa, what about the Mahmuda, and every other one that we know now, more like is in Nigeria as a safe haven? And how are we going to be able to do this? Recall that from the mouths of some governors in Nigeria, we're told that they are not even Nigerians, they are foreigners. For example, in Benue State, the governor there, Alea Haisan, said that some of the persons that they caught during interrogation, they found that they're not even Nigerians. And also, the city has also made a statement to that direction. So how do you think we'll be able to, end this whole issue of insecurity once and for all? Because we learned, like the likes of Tarjo Bello is from Niger, he's a Nigerian. And some other persons actually who happens to be kingpin to all these terrorist groups.
Thank you. In Nigeria, we have a very porous border. We have about 200 borders that are porous. We have a border with Cameroon, we have a border with Chad, we have a border with Niger. And some of these borders, they're just like one building apart. That you can stroll in the morning, and in the evening you stroll out. First thing first is to get a heavily secured borders. When your borders are secured, then you can secure your territory. Because for one to call a country, you must have sovereignty, population, a government in place, and people. Now, when the people are not protected, then there's an issue. I agree that not all of them are Nigerians. Some are from neighboring African countries that they also, the government also brought in during the time of Goodluck Jonathan to say, okay, if it doesn't go south, let chaos take over the day. And they were harmed. These men that were harmed, now you can't retrieve the harms from them anymore. They now see the business as a lucrative business. They kidnap, collect ransom, and they go freely and share the money. And nobody goes after them. We have a CBN governor who should have an imprint, a tracker in a ransom money being paid, so we can track this poor, but nobody's care about that. That these people, they are doing a lucrative business in Nigerian soil daily. And this money is being spent in Nigerian soil. So the first thing we should do is to invest in.
All right, we think we're having a network glitch there, so we'll bring it back to the studio. Okay, if you can hear me, let's get your thoughts. Continue with a lot of thoughts, Mr. Kevin.
So using modern day technology to combat crime is the best way to go. Invest heavily in drones, security drones. Have a well-structured security, and they should be well paid. Our security, our military, they have a low morale. Their morals are low. If a man dies in battlefield, what is the take-home pay? You give him 1 million naira to his family. You give him 5 million naira to his family, and that doesn't tell well. Ensure the life of our military. Then they'll go all out to do the job.
All right then.
Ensure they are well fed, they are well paid, and well catered for. You see military officers, they are approaches, and they are abandoned to suffer alone with their families. No checkup, no follow-up, no remedy.
All right.
Then there's one that is treated to fight.
Jimudu, who's National Secretary, Human Rights Protection Congress, and also the Senior Special Assistant to the Governor of Delta State on Human Rights. Thank you very much for your thoughts on this one. Barrister Darlington, what would be your final thoughts on this one? Are we going forward? Are we going backwards?
We are going backwards several times. Several steps backwards, because whatever we gained before now, we have lost all of them. Seriously, our military, I don't even know whether they are still what they used to be, all because of this policy of integration. There's no way anybody will be comfortable and happy working with somebody who was facing you in the battlefield yesterday, and now you and him are dining and wining on the same table. You will not be comfortable. There's no way. So I don't know who brought this idea. In fact, except to remove the sentiment that have gotten into this terrorism fight, it will not go away. All these people that are coming into Nigeria, on whose platform are they coming in here? If not for sentimental reason, why are they coming here? Why are they coming here? It's because of sentiment, nothing else. So rehabilitating this recapture the terror is because of sentiments. The moment we remove all these sentiments and fight this war the way it should be fought, we get the best result. But as long as we continue in this route, forget about it.
Do you advocate individuals being armed? Because Senator Ned Nwoko pushed for that initially, but
no.
He asked that Nigerians be allowed to carry arms.
No, it's not possible. We are not matured for it. Even America, with their level of sophistication, they are still fighting gun control. So Nigeria, I don't think so. Which kind of arm are you going to carry without abusing it? Okay. It's not possible. We are not mature for all these things. Look, let them remove sentiment. That is all. The sentiment has gotten into these fights. Yes, my tribe, my ethnicity, my religion. All these are sentiments that.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome to a new week. Our situation has grown so dire that I am becoming quite tired to come before you week in, week out. I rarely accept any television engagement these days because it's the same old shit that one has to deal with every time. It's the same thing. Fela has been dead for almost 3 decades now. But I remember Fela saying in his song, Just Like That, Look and Laugh, you find the same frustrations playing out, because it was the same thing that he was saying yesterday that he had to repeat today. And the preoccupation of any creative or spiritual person is always found within their environment. So if you are an artist or a creative, you speak largely to what you feel in your society. So every time I come to speak with you, I've had only one thing to speak about: Nigeria. The many tribulations of the Nigerian. This, after a point, begins to sound like lamentations, self-flagellation. But I am caught of a different hue. I do not merely lament, I offer solutions. My first engagement with you as a public was in my book, Do Not Die in Their War. That book has a 61-page draft constitution annexed to it. It wasn't just my work. I had the help of good men, particularly Ralph Nwoke. We didn't just drop something on you lamenting. Yes, I lamented. I bemoaned, and I'm still bemoaning the destruction of this blessed country. But in the midst of all of that, I have never been shy of offering solutions. And one of such is the draft constitution to which I allude. I'm laying this foundation because I have very grave issues to discuss with you. It could very well be that I'm discussing with you today, or it might very well be that what I'm saying is for posterity. As I've always said, perhaps another generation would arise that will need to find its way to sanity. But if it must find its way to sanity, it must know how the country became insane. So my interventions, my writings, sometimes I'm forced to assume that perhaps it might not be meant for you. It might be that it's meant for a generation that is not here yet. But it is more important for me that I tell you or write them so that at least somebody else might run with it if you are not the ones that are meant to run with it. Yorubas have this self-appellation that is available to truth tellers, not truth sellers, truth tellers. And what does it say? I'll interpret. It says that if I told you that there is a fire atop of the waters, demand his ashes of me. Do not quarrel or argue about the authenticity of what I am saying. It has pleased God to grant me the capacity to make a similar boast about our country, Nigeria. Over the years, I have said some things that most of you considered completely insane, and I made it easier for you to digest by suggesting that I'm the insane one, when I always knew that it was all of you that are actually crazy. You've built a society where you deny the truth, even when it's slapping you in the face. But that is not my point this morning. I just need us to establish very quickly that the things I have to say this morning is not born of madness. It is born of having no respect for the lies that you have internalized and become acculturated to. So I will tell you, you may care to hear and act on them, or you may care to treat them yet again as the rants of a madman. But I guarantee you, in the fullness of time, my words will come to pass, just as the ones that I told you before. So this morning, I want to talk to you. And I was thinking, what would my topic be? What I have to say, I didn't need any gainsaying. I have my notes, my guardrails, but I really do not need them. But I'm keeping them so that I may not derail too far from the points that I need to make to you this morning. So I decided it was going to be titled, When Enough is Enough. But it took a while to get there. To get there, I needed to check my YouTube channel to be certain that I haven't used the title before, because I have been at this point multiple times. And true to type, when I checked, I found that when I was out of the country sometime last year after coming out of prison, I was away for about 4 months. And whilst I was away, this petroleum tax and this new taxation bill was running through the National Assembly at the time. And I could already see how unjust and unfair the entire idea of Nigerians being taxed in the fashion being proposed was going to be. So I think I preached the sermon along the same line, pretty much along the same line as the one that I'm going to be preaching this morning. So I wanted to be sure. And sure enough, one came up. And when it came up, I realized at the time I said, when is enough enough? But this morning, I want to talk to you about when enough is actually enough. And as I was mulling through my thoughts, I remembered something that Fela had said years ago. And I had the short clip, the video. So I went back to that video. I've always believed that, even though I've argued multiple times that Fela was not a prophet or simply a truth teller, because I don't like us romanticizing truth tellers to the point where you begin to ascribe prophetic mantles to them. So I said no. I'd always argued Fela was no prophet. Fela was simply a man who told the truth. Imperfect man like all of us, but he told the truth, and telling the truth rendered him immortal because the truth is immortal. So that was always my argument. But in a moment, I don't know how come that clip was preserved, but that clip went around some years ago, almost like 10 years ago or there, but I've had that clip for a while, when Fela said, when the time is ready, we go hard there. I've always wondered, how do you talk about the time being ready? It's usually when the people are ready. But Fela didn't say when the people are ready. He said when the time is ready. And if you are a student of semantics, or at some level you understand the spiritual, you will understand that there are times and there are seasons, and within time there are multiple things that happen. The Yoruba understanding of time is where your full understanding of what Fela was saying might come to fruition. And when Yoruba is talking about Igba speaks of seasons. It speaks of seasons in terms of weather, but it also speaks of seasons in terms of the stages of a man's life. So when Fela said, when the time is ready, we go ask them. I've never managed to shake the impression that Fela was speaking to a moment in time. And when I look at the realities of Nigeria, I've also realized that it will take a moment in time before we may ever have a peaceful revolution. It will take a moment in time when the disparate parts of Nigeria learn to speak together with one voice in recognition of common afflictions. My purpose today is not to deal with the semantics of Fela's word, but it is relevant to my discourse with you, and I needed to deal with that. But I'm going to keep it in the parking space, and I need you to keep it in mind as we travel. Our lifetimes are finite. None of us will live forever. I was at Tisonya Ogbo yesterday because it was Chivayo Adebanjo's first anniversary yesterday. He was a lover of men, of humanity. But the relevance of this is to help you understand that even though he was 96 years old by the time he died, he still died. We all will live for a season. All of us are living in this season. And that is the context in which I was recalling Fela's words about when the time is ready. This is our time. At some point in the life of a man, you are going to have to decide when enough is enough in relation to the tribulations that you may suffer. Systems produce the result that they produce because they were designed to produce those results. When enough is enough is that point where the Nigerian comes to the brutal understanding of the fact that there is a dissonance between the lies they have told themselves and the reality that is facing them. Early in 2021, INEC began to propagate the idea that we were going to have free and fair elections in 2023. This was particularly important for the government of the day because there was simmering anger from the fallout of the massacre that took place at Lekki and other parts of the country on October 20, 2020. The hope, which has now proven to be illusory, was that what we could not get, what we realized that was necessary, that led and fed the October protests. People exchanged their placards for PVC. I helped to sell that illusion because I was equally deluded enough to believe that the system would allow for peaceful democratic change. We bought into the illusion. I recall being labeled more or less a fool by multiple persons who rightly did not believe that there was ever going to be a free and fair election. But I chose to believe. I don't want violence. I've always believed that a free and fair election in Nigeria, regardless of what it produces, would be acceptable to Nigerians. We would at least know that we can subsequently remove whatever error we have made if we voted in what will prove or might prove to be the wrong way. It is the prerogative of citizens to elect their rulers, or ruiners for that matter, as Nigerians did in 2015. But that is not my purpose this morning. So we bought into the illusion. We tamped down the anger at every point. We asked the youth to believe in the power of their votes. And they believed. They sought to register to vote in record numbers across the length and breadth of Nigeria. INEC began his games in the lead up to the election. And Mahmoud, the fraud, came out multiple times to reassure us. And so did Okoye, the forgotten. Because these people will forget him in the pit of infamy. Okoye came out. We were reassured. Oh, Beavers war, we use IREF. Why should we doubt men who spoke in the public sphere, backed by the force of law? We believed. And then the magic began. My purpose is not to rehash the fraudulence of Mahmoud. That is long established in history. After that election, a push began to cure what was never ailed by anything. There was always sufficient legislation to show that INEC did not have the discretion to do anything other than to use electronic transmission. It had committed to it by the subsidiary legislations it made under the Electoral Act. His own guidelines flagrantly dismissed. And this was what led people to begin to believe that if the requirements are codified and not open to the discretion of INEC or the mischief of the courts, we will cure this defect. Peter Aka, Randy, brilliant young man, devoted himself to it. I spoke multiple times in support of what he was doing and is still doing. I had very little hope of them ever curing the defect that was never there. But it was important that the system be allowed to show its hand and reveal itself. And Peter kept working. He kept working and it worked. It mobilized a lot of you. Most of us looked on with skepticism because we know better than to trust the system. But it worked and it has kept working. But what has the system done? Akpabio, who has no business whatsoever being in the Senate, who is essentially a bandit in power, led a bunch of bandits, and they are brazenly telling you that they've already rigged the election ahead of time. They are telling you. One of the reps person, I think from Agatu local government, I saw a video of him the other day telling his constituents how they should better go and join the APC because very soon you'll get nothing if you are not in the APC. 30 governors are in the APC. A one-party state is being forced down the throat of everybody. Let me explain myself. The Nigeria of today is where poverty has come full circle. They have weaponized poverty to the point where your votes are purchased sometime ahead of time. If they get away with what they're proposing, elections will be conducted before the day of the election. It will be fully electronic, don't worry. It would even be free and fair in most cases. Question is, what is free? What is fair? What is free and what is fair when the discretion of the people have been prefettered ahead of time? The same INEC of Mahmoud Yakubu, where the president elected by INEC has already shown the pathway for the future. Elect me president and you get a plumb ambassadorial appointment. So the INEC chairman now knows, just like the chairman of the president of the Nigerian Bar Association used to know, that once you became the president of the NBA, you are also going to become the Attorney General of the Federation in settlement of the bar. What led to the compromise of the NBA that it has hardly recovered from. So today, when you are the INEC chairman, few months after the conduct of the election, the beneficiary of your fraudulence would then give you a plumb position. It's been normalized. Mahmoud the Shameless accepted it. And today, he's an ambassador in the Hall of Shame, or shall I say, the Shameless. But that is not my point. My point is this. We live in a country where the same ruiners have not only weaponized poverty, but they have weaponized ignorance. The people's capacity to effectively make informed decisions have already been compromised. You have over 30 million children out of school. You have like 130 million Nigerians living beneath the poverty line. That means they are living on less than 5,000 naira a day. That 5,000 naira covers everything about their existence: transportation, drugs, and I'm talking basic pharmaceuticals, food, clothing, accommodation, name it. Everything is below 5,000 naira a day. So these ones that are even graduates can barely on their own articulate their conditions or make informed decisions because they are barely literate, even though they are certificated. These are the persons that the system is rigging up a system for that predetermines their electoral choices. This is the same system that has built a sophisticated taxation system that is so sophisticated that it has to be administered from France. We're building the Cameroon model of democracy in Nigeria when our tax administration has been subcontracted opaquely to a French entity. We have an educational system that is unknown to anybody. Challenge them in the Ministry of Education, Federal Ministry of Education, to show you the curriculum, the national curriculum. They can't, which is why you are seeing all kinds of funny textbooks popping up. How many are you going to monitor? Where is the national education curriculum? You're living in a country where nothing normal is normalized. Everything that should not happen happens routinely. Nigeria has been turned into the devil's, it's not even a workshop, it's a playground. All the children of these demons come here to play, but they play in the administration of our lives. And we're all sitting down. If you are talking about when enough is enough, it's been more than enough in this country. You're living in a country where there are multiple educational systems. You have Indian systems, Spanish system, French system. Those ones at least see what they are putting their children in. What is the national curriculum? Who has seen it? That is the country we are living in. Nigeria is already being programmed for destruction. You have illiterate teachers. Almost every trade person that still has some measure of skill or that you can rely on come from some other country into Nigeria, especially in Lagos. They are either Ghanaians, Togolese, Beninois, and most of them are even leaving because of the devaluation of our money, especially when their families are still in their own country. Before they can change Naira to the CD or CFA that they used to send, Naira has become so worthless that it doesn't work for them anymore, and they are leaving, going back to their country. The few Nigerian artisans that know how to do anything, the level of fraudulence is scary. And we don't have trade schools. You can't even replace those ones. Nobody is training anybody. Nobody is teaching anything. You've got religion weaponized. The other day, because of prayer meeting, and you had thousands, hundreds of thousands responding. But ask them to protest for one day against the evils that have befallen all of us. Lie, they are nowhere to be found. Religion has been weaponized. You see all manner of fraudsters. That was how I saw one the other day. He said when there is going to be a plane crash, God forbid, you should brace yourself, and then you should begin to speak in tongue. Imagine where you, and these are the kind of persons sat behind pulpits, and you have thousands sat.
So guys, let me quickly take you through some of the reactions coming from Nigerians after terrorists are said to have, bite so many people in Zamfara state. This person Buhari got into power by using Boko Haram, APC and Muslim Caliphate today. Tinubu is using the lives of Nigerians to stay in power. Hey God, this is heavy. Tinubu is using the lives of Nigerians to stay in power, guys. That is the reaction this guy reacted. Another person here reacted saying, the one day, okay, this person said, these are humans, not animals. When will this stop? Why is this happening to poor citizens who know nothing about what is going on in the country? Why isn't the government providing the security they promised? This person here, this was Tinubu back then, saying the festering Boko Haram attacks on the northeast and massacre of innocent citizens is a concrete proof that Nigeria has no government. This was Tinubu back then condemning Jonathan's government, that there's no government in place. So guys, I don't know if Nigeria can really stay united under this kind of situation. The northerners are also not helping because you don't see them condemning these attacks, especially now during this Ramadan. Now, see what is even more troubling. This headline, this one says, Zamfara allocate 1 billion to build cemetery across 14 local government amid ongoing bandits killing. So guys, the government's priority is not 1 billion will go a long way to provide security, but the government prefers to build cemetery, meaning more deaths are yet to come. So guys, this is what is happening. This person here said, when citizens lost their lives and the people who ought to protect them failed and the evildoers even go scot-free, please, which century are we living in? What was to come, was to become our fate in this damn country, guys? This is what Nigerians are saying. Now, this person also reacted saying that just in case you are not aware, please read. The Nigerian government has just released 177 repentant Boko Haram terrorists back into the society. No jail, no punishment, no prosecution. Just a scam program. And these 117 wild animals are released back into the society to kill, kidnap and murder Nigerians. Boko Haram terrorists and the APC are two sides of the same coin, working hand in hand. The animals in government and the animals in the bush are one and the same. This is the legacy of the APC, the Al-Qaeda People's Congress, guys. If you are supporting the APC like Obi Kubana and Kubana chief priests have chosen to, they are the worst enemies Nigeria has today, guys. I can't believe this. How we brought in Fulani militias from Mali, Senegal, and others to win 2027 election, guys. Remember that an APC chieftain made this claim, and this person, do not take northern Nigeria seriously if you want to move this country forward. All they care about is religion and selfish interest, guys. This is why people are saying the north is not even happy. You don't see, as this attack happened now, you can't see their elites come out to condemn it. They will all be quiet. Now this one here says, terrible news, my heart goes out for the victims of this family. Violence like this in Zamfara continues to devastate communities, and urgent action is needed to protect innocent lives. This government and these killers work hand in hand, guys. And this other person here say, on a serious note, there is something I've observed so long now on the northern state. This killing has been happening so long now, and funny part is that they don't act, protest, or fight against the bandits. Hey, just the way they can't attack, they can attack a Christian person when it has to do with religion? Is this that they are weak? Hey God. So guys, it's really heartbreaking. A northerner said they will revenge the killing in Rivers State, but they cannot revenge the killing of terrorists. So they are in bed with terrorists. When you look at how everything is going, guys, it's really, really so touching. When it has to do with religion, is it that they are weak when it comes to bandits and terrorists killing their families and destroying their land? Because if they put force on these bandits just the way they usually do when it comes to people being killed in other states, by now their state will have been peaceful without terrorists. I mean, why are the northerners not acting each time terrorists kill their people? I mean, be it Muslim, be it Christians, why are they so complicit? But now they are threatening that they are going to start revenging the killing that happened in Rivers State. So guys, this is what is wrong with the northern Nigeria. I mean, now this person, Nigerian security forces and the country's leaders should come out and tell us if we have done something wrong to deserve this. Why are innocent people, why are innocent and poor people being killed? Why are they trying to reduce the population? Or do they not see the lives of poor people as valuable human lives? This is too much. They need to speak up and clarify what is going on, guys. Can you imagine 150 people kidnapped, 30-something killed in Zamfara? Guys, this is unbelievable. While Plateau State is burying 30 people from Plateau who were killed in Kwara State. Now, this one say, oh boy, even the US don't face confused for this kind of our country. This country is too big to manage as a poor, very corrupt 20th war country. The best is to divide the country into 9 places so people can micromanage themselves and survive. And this other person here said, this makes me wonder, and I have been asking myself, how weak are we once? How weak are the ones alive in that community? Why can't you protect yourself, knowing if you fight you win, and you don't fight you make it easy for the nonsense people doing these things to keep coming? And this other person here said, what's all this? One APC merchant will come out and tell us everything is good and is going well. People are dying and crying out loud, and nothing is being done about it. Tomorrow they will tell us that the people doing these killings have repented and that they've been infused into the Nigerian army. This has to stop, guys. Let me know what you think about this in the comment section. Please don't forget to subscribe and turn on the bell notification for more. Thank you.